Opinions on Donald Trump as a potential threat to the world. Donald Trump, having won the 2016 U.S. presidential election, established a significant influence both in the United States and globally. Throughout his presidency, he adopted controversial policies in areas such as international relations, economics, security, and the environment. His leadership was constantly debated worldwide, with supporters and critics alike offering differing views. Considering the policies he pursued during his time in office and their subsequent effects, there are opinions suggesting that Donald Trump could pose a serious threat to global stability. This article will discuss some of the arguments that suggest Trump could be dangerous for the world. 1. Tensions in international relations and hegemonic approach. One of the most noticeable features of Trump's foreign policy was his isolationist stance, particularly his distant attitude toward international alliances and agreements, such as NATO, called into question America's global hegemony. For instance, Trump's insistence on NATO member states increasing their defense spending weakened the unity of the alliance and strained relationships with several countries. Furthermore, his withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement and the abandonment of the Iran nuclear deal led many nations to adopt a negative stance toward the U.S. Trump's policies in this area, characterized by unilateral and self-interested approaches, can threaten global peace and cooperation, especially on issues requiring international collaboration. 2. Economic tensions and trade wars. Trump's America First slogan and his trade policies had significant repercussions for the global economy. His trade war with China, in particular, shook global trade relations. By imposing tariffs on Chinese goods, Trump created economic uncertainty worldwide, disrupting global supply chains and affecting economies beyond China. This not only affected China, but also posed risks to the economic stability of other nations. Additionally, Trump's resistance to free trade agreements restricted growth opportunities for developing countries and weakened global cooperation. His protectionist stance could result in long-term instability in the world economy. 3. Environmental and climate change policies. Trump's environmental policies also pose a significant danger to the world. Throughout his presidency, he downplayed the threat of climate change, rolled back several environmental regulations, and encouraged the use of fossil fuels. These actions have accelerated global warming, potentially causing extreme weather events, rising sea levels, and ecosystem destruction worldwide. His decision to withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement sparked outrage among environmental organizations and weakened international efforts to combat climate change. In a time when global cooperation is essential to address environmental crises, Trump's inward-focused policies risk deepening global environmental challenges. 4. Nuclear weapons and global security. Trump's stance on nuclear weapons also posed a threat to global security. During heightened tensions with North Korea, his aggressive rhetoric and threats put global peace at risk. Instead of working to prevent the proliferation of nuclear weapons, Trump made statements that seemed to encourage an arms race. His opposition to international agreements aimed at halting nuclear proliferation and his efforts to increase America's nuclear arsenal have raised concerns about the possibility of a global nuclear conflict. These policies could lead to the spread of nuclear weapons and the destabilization of international security, threatening the safety of all nations. 5. Democracy and human rights. Trump's domestic policies also have the potential to harm democracy and human rights globally. His discriminatory rhetoric and policies toward minority groups have drawn significant criticism. Such rhetoric not only affects the United States, but also encourages populist and authoritarian movements in other parts of the world. Trump's stance on international human rights and democratic values, particularly his support for autocratic regimes, undermines global efforts to promote democracy and human rights. His attacks on media freedom and the independence of the judiciary, both domestically and abroad, have eroded trust in the rule of law and basic freedoms globally. Conclusion. Donald Trump's potential to pose a threat to the world goes far beyond his domestic policies. His actions in foreign policy, economics, the environment, security, and democracy have far-reaching consequences. Trump's narrow nationalistic approach to governance weakens global cooperation and has the potential to destabilize peace and security worldwide. For this reason, the opinions suggesting that Trump could be a danger to the world reflect legitimate concerns about the global implications of his leadership.